E.N.D here. Today we're going to talk about VRASKA Golgari Queen. VRASKA Golgari Queen, it's a mythic planeswalker from Guilds of Ravnica. Guilds of Ravnica is the first set of the third block related to Ravnica. It's a 4-drop with a 4 loyalty counter planeswalker. The +2 ability, you may sacrifice another permanent. If you do, you gain 1 life and draw a card. The -3 ability is destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. And the -9 ability, you get an emblem with whenever a creature controls this combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. So why we are going to talk about this card? Why this card, VRASKA Golgari Queen, is spiking in price. You can see here that there is a spike in price of $20, and this is exactly after the release of Throne of Eldraine. We can see a little bit here the history of VRASKA Golgari Queen in terms of value. At spoiler season, we see that the card was being valued at around $30. It is quite a good price for a 4-drop planeswalker with a 4 loyalty counter that can defend itself. But unfortunately, at release time, at the release of Guilds of Ravnica, the card was being traded at around $14–15. It continued to drop in price to around $5 to $6. This was only because VRASKA Golgari Queen at that time didn't saw any play at all. And when you have a planeswalker or a mythic card that is not seeing play, neither in standard nor in modern, the price of that card will drop. With War of the Spark, things didn't change. The maximum price that it reached was around $9. But when Throne of Eldraine was released, we see that beauty of spike in price. You can see here the graph of MTG Goldfish. The price has spiked and now it's being traded, as I said, at $20. Why? There is one valid particular reason, and that reason is the -3 ability. Destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. And what non-land permanent in current standard cost 3 or less? Yes, I'm referring to Oko. Oko, Thief of Crowns. Currently standard, it's all about Oko, Thief of Crowns. And also, Mythic Championship, Richmond, we saw top 8 decks dominating have a 4 copies of Oko, Thief of Crowns. And this is why VRASKA Golgari Queen spiked in price. The -3 ability let you destroy directly Oko, and thus you have a very valid counter for Oko in your deck. Even Oko decks are using copies, 1 or 2 copies of VRASKA Golgari Queen in their main, only because of mirror matches. Mirror matches, you are facing another opponent that is playing another Oko, and who leaves Oko on the battlefield probably will win the game. Therefore, if you can manage to cast VRASKA Golgari Queen and use immediately the -3 ability, you will directly destroy your Oko, your opponent's Oko, and therefore you will have an advantage on the battlefield. This is why the card is spiking in price. As I said, in standard currently it's all about Oko. You can see here also the foil version of the card. We're seeing that it's being traded at around $30, and we see also a spike immediately after the release of Throne of Eldraine. Currently standard, it's all about Oko. It's all about Oko and the way to destroy Oko or counter Oko ASAP. But you have to remember that November 18, it's at our gates. That means that probably something will happen. We saw that Mythic Championship Richmond, there were in top 8 decks that have 4 copies of Oko. Oko is one of those cards that is dominating standard, and I'm sure November 18th, E.N.D, something will happen in standard, and most probably, I cannot give you 100% assurance, but most probably Oko will get the Banhammer. That means that be aware what cards you're buying to counter Oko. Currently these cards are spiking in price only because they are countering Oko, only because it's a valid response to Oko, And that means that if Oko gets banned, these cards will drop in price. My opinion is, wait for November 18th, don't buy any cards, any single cards in standard, wait for what will happen November 18th, and then after the announcement, let's see the metagame in standard, what will happen after the E.N.D, and buy the singles before spiking in price. If Oko get banned, I'm sure there will be a lot of cards that will spike in price. If Oko does not get banned, I'm sure there will be other cards that will spike in price to counter Oko. You can leave me a comment below. What do you think about VRASKA Golgari Queen? Will this card spike in price, continue to spike in price, or will this card drop if Oko is banned? Here there's a subscription button. Subscribe for my channel for more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.